Hey YouTube, I'm Zach, as hopefully you guys all know, and today my video is about rape. So pretty much the definition of rape is the crime committed by a man of forcing another person to have sexual intercourse with him without their consent and against their will, especially by the threat of using violence against them. So, as you can see from that definition, that rape is normally committed by a man because it's possible for a woman to rape a man, but because it's basically forcing them to have sex with you without their consent. So, a woman can commit it, but if a man does it, then it can have more harm just because of their body and their strength and their genitalia. So what society should be doing right now, instead of, there's something called slut shaming. So it's pretty much telling girls not to dress like a slut so that they won't get raped. And basically, people are focusing too much on that when they should be teaching people, especially men, not to rape. And that's what they're lacking. Educating men to not rape, to not put things in women's drinks at parties, to not force them into a dark alley and, do horrible things to them. That's what they need to learn not to do. And that's pretty much the idea of slut walk. And so that's like when a whole bunch of protesters and activists get together and basically tell people that they shouldn't be blaming women for rape and they should be teaching men not to do it. I've personally never been to one, but I'm planning to attend one next year. I think it's during the summer. So I'll let you know my experience then. That's a long time from now. So I found this article, and it's through a rapist's eyes. I think it's a documentary or some kind of interview. And a man basically interviews rapists that are in jail and such. And so it's basically for the safety of women. I'll read it out to you. It's actually quite informative and quite effective. So, number 1. The first thing men look for in a potential victim is hairstyle. They are most likely to go after a woman with a ponytail, bun, braid, or other hairstyle that can be easily grabbed. They are also likely to go after a woman with long hair. Women with short hair are not common targets. The second thing men look for is clothing. They will look for women whose clothing is easy to remove quickly. Many of them carry scissors around to cut clothing. They also look for women using their cell phone, searching through their purse, or doing other activities while walking because they are off guard and can be easily overpowered. The number 1 place women are abducted from / attacked are at grocery store parking lots. Number 2 is office parking lots and garages. Number 3 is public restrooms. The thing about these men is that they are looking to grab a woman and quickly move her to a second location where they don't have to worry about getting caught. If you put up any kind of fight at all, they get discouraged because it only takes a minute or two for them to realize that going after you isn't worth it because it's too time consuming. These men said they would not pick on women who have umbrellas or other similar objects that can be used from a distance in their hand. Keys are not a deterrent because you have to get really close to the attacker to use them as a weapon. So the idea is to convince these guys that you're not worth it. Points that you should remember. If someone is following behind you on a street or in a garage or with you in an elevator or stairwell, look them in the face and ask them a question, like what time it is, or make general small talk. Can't believe it's so cold out here. We're in for a bad winter. Now that you've seen their faces and could identify them in a lineup, you lose appeal as a target. If someone is coming towards you, hold out your hand in front of you and yell stop or stay back. Most of the rapists this man talked to said they'd leave a woman alone if she yelled or showed that she would be not afraid to fight back. Again, they are looking for an easy target. If you carry pepper spray, this instructor was a huge advocate of it and carries it with him wherever he goes. Yelling, "I have pepper spray," and holding it out will be a deterrent. If someone grabs you, you can't beat them with the strength, but you can do it by outsmarting them. If you're grabbed around the waist from behind, pinch the attacker either under the arm, between the elbow and armpit, or in the upper inner thigh. Hard. One woman in a class this guy taught told him she used the underarm pinch on a guy who was trying to date rape her and was so upset she broke through the skin and tore out muscle strands that the guy needed stitches. Try pinching yourself in those places as hard as you can stand it. It really hurts. After the initial hit, always go for the groin. I know from a particularly unfortunate experience that if you slap a guy's parts, it is extremely painful. You might think that you'll anger the guy and make him want to hurt you more, but the thing these rapists told our instructor is that they want a woman who will not cause him a lot of trouble. Start causing trouble, and he's out of there. When the guy puts his hand up to you, grab his first two fingers and bend them back as far as possible, with as much pressure pushing down on them. The instructor did it to me without using much pressure, and I ended up on my knees and both knuckles cracked audibly. Of course, the things that we always hear still apply. Always be aware of your surroundings, take someone with you if you can, and if you see any odd behavior, don't dismiss it. Go with your instincts. You may feel a little silly at times, but you'd feel much worse if the guy really was trouble. Also remember these. Tip from Taekwondo. The elbow is the strongest point on your body. If you're close enough to use it, do it. If a robber asks for your wallet and/or purse, do not hand it to him. Toss it away from you. Chances are that he is more interested in your wallet and/or the purse than you, and he will go for the wallet or purse. Run like mad in the other direction. If you're ever thrown into the trunk of a car, kick out the back tail lights and stick your arm out of the hole and start waving like crazy. The driver won't see you, but everybody else will. This has actually saved lives. Women have a tendency to get into their car after shopping, eating, working, etc., and just sit, doing their checkbook or making a list, etc. Don't do this. The predator will be watching you, and this is a perfect opportunity for him to get in on the passenger side, put a gun to your head, and tell you where to go. As soon as you close the doors, leave. A few notes about getting into your car in a parking lot or parking garage. Be aware. Look around your car as someone may be hiding at the passenger side. Peek into your car inside the passenger side floor and in the back seat. Do this before riding a taxi cab as well. If you are parked next to a big van, enter your car from the passenger door. Most serial killers attack their victims by pulling them into their vans while the women are attempting to get into their cars. Look at the car parked on the driver's side of your vehicle and the passenger side. If a male is sitting alone in the nearest seat to your car, you may want to walk back into the mall or work and get a guard or policeman to walk you back. It is always better to be safe than sorry, and better paranoid than dead. Always take the elevator instead of the stairs. Stairwells are horrible places to be alone and the perfect crime spot. If the predator has a gun and you are not under his control, always run. The predator will only hit you, a running target, 4 in 100 times, and even then it will most likely not hit a vital organ. Run. As women, we are always trying to be sympathetic. Stop it. It may get you raped or killed. Ted Bundy, the serial killer, was a good-looking, well-educated man who always played on the sympathies of unsuspecting victims. He walked with a cane or a limp and often asked for help into his vehicle or with his vehicle, which is when he abducted his next victim. Okay, so that was the article, and that was not, I did not write that. So when I said it was the person who was writing it. So I hope those tips actually really help, because it kind of makes you sound paranoid if you do those, but I guess it is better to be safe than sorry. So in that interview, they mentioned the term date rape, and not everyone knows what that means. So I'm going to clarify some terms right now. So date rape is when forced sex occurs between two people who already know each other. Gang rape occurs when a group of people participate in the rape of a single victim. Spousal rape is where rape occurs between a married couple, and a lot of times that can be more traumatizing than being raped by a stranger. Rape of children, which is self-explanatory and again can be very, very traumatizing. Statutory rape is sex with a person underage, even if they do give consent, because a lot of governments believe that some youth are too young to give consent. Prison rape, which is just like rape in prison between inmates. Rape by deception occurs when the perpetrator gains the victim's consent through fraud. War rape, which is rape used as a weapon in war. So like in the Congo and Rwanda, that's a really big issue where rape is used as a weapon, and I think that that's horrible that they would actually use that against their own people, like the military, and they rape women and they kill them, and they even rape the children and kill them, even as babies. So that's really, it's gruesome. It's a gruesome thought. And it's just, the UN is obviously working on this because, that's very, very wrong. So hopefully that will stop eventually. So lastly, why rape occurs. There's no set reason why, but reasons that are thought or anger, so like anger management, or they do it to get back at someone. Alcohol and drug consumption, power, especially when males rape females, it's a power thing. Poverty, which leads to someone being uneducated, therefore they don't know why they shouldn't rape, or they're not taught why they shouldn't rape. Early childhood environments, so they were sexually abused as a child, and that's also a cycle that needs to be stopped as well, the cycle of abuse. And that goes with any type of abuse. When a child is abused as a kid, most likely, if they don't get treated for it or help or taught that it's wrong to do it, they will do it to their own child. The number one way to stop rape is to educate. People don't have to rape. They don't have to do it for power. They don't have to do it because they're angry or hurt. They can let their anger out in other ways, like sports or therapy, learning, listening, talking about their feelings, and understanding. The problem will only get worse if we don't address it now, right? Rape is wrong, and we can all take appropriate measures to prevent it from occurring and to help ourselves and others from getting hurt. Because we have to look out for other people too, not just ourselves. So that was my video on rape, sexual abuse. It's very vague, I know. I'm not too familiar with the topic completely, but I know that it is an issue now. That's why I decided to touch on it. Go ahead, do some research for yourself, If you type in slutwalk on Google, there are a lot of websites. I have been on the New York website, which is a really good one. So if you want more information on that, go look at those. And I also heard they did a slut walk in India too, which is really cool. So it's spreading, and the movement is not just here in North America, but now it's going further beyond our borders. So yeah, I hope that you can learn more about this and stop it. Thanks for watching.